Hi everybody, it's Josh with Talk About Trek, and we are back again because it is Tuesday, and what do we do on Tuesday? We engage Warp Tuesday. And that's what we're doing here today. And today is going to be I guess we'll say this will be a little bit of a sadder Warp Tuesday. Today will be all about remembrance of one of the greatest Trek authors to ever live, Mr. Peter David. Now, if you don't know, Peter David passed away the 24th of May due to complications, from health issues. And actually, I did not even find out until a subscriber of the channel told me through a comment. So I'm kind of that removed from the news and that kind of stuff. So sad to hear about it. Peter David wrote so many great Trek books. And I mean, from my end, I'm just looking at him from the Trek end. But he has this huge other side of comic book work, which is, I mean, acclaimed. And I have friends that are very big into comic books, and they even know of his work and stuff. So, again, sad to hear. And I thought it would be, first off, we'll kind of talk a little bit about Peter David, and then we'll talk about the books that I've read and kind of my thoughts on them, maybe. And, we'll just kind of go from there. So, let's jump right into what do we got here? We have got our Wikipedia open here. So this is Mr. Peter David here, who has recently passed. And again, he was just a prolific author. As you can see here, he did multiple comics. Incredible Hulk. He did runs on Aquaman, Young Justice, Spy Boy, Supergirl, Fallen Angel, Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2099, Captain Marvel, and X Factor. He also wrote a lot of Trek comics and a whole bunch of Trek books, which we'll get into a little bit deeper later here. But first off, one thing I did want to point out, and you guys can read about all about Mr. David. I loved. Here, where was it? Perfect. Yes, where he first off, Stephen King kind of like inspired him. I like this section here. At a book signing, Stephen King signed his book, "Good luck with your writing career," which is what he then wrote into people's books when they kind of said the same thing to him. So, but the here's some of and I guess I never really read into his background before, I understand now why his writing always kind of clicked with me on maybe a different level, because the influence here that he speaks of is so much of the stuff that I like as well. So you got Harlan Ellison, Arthur Conan Doyle, which I read a lot of when I was a kid, Robert B. Parker, Neil Gaiman, Terry Pratchett, Robert Crace, and Edgar Rice Burroughs. And I am a huge fan of Edgar Rice Burroughs. The Princess of Mars, the Tarzan stories, very good stuff. Specific books: To Kill a Mockingbird, Tarzan of the Apes, and The Princess Bride, which is a fantastic book as well. Um, so again, I love to learn that little bit about his background today, and I guess I can kind of see now how that comes out in some of his stories. Right? Now, he is also let's not forget his accolades. That's always good to bring up here, right? He has won multiple awards. He is a multiple award-winning artist. So he got the Eisner Award in '92, the 1993 Wizard Fan, the 1996 Haxter Award, the 2007 Julie Award, 2011 Glad Media Award, and the 2016 Inkpot Award. So plenty of awards for Mr. David there. Now, let's dig a little bit deeper into what did he write for Trek. Now, in thinking about this today here, show all, we definitely want to show all, I want to say, and I'm going to give him full credit, and I think that the credit is fully due here, Peter David is the reason why I got so into Star Trek books as a kid. And I'm going to show you exactly why that was here. And it was this one right here, right? A Rock and a Hard Place. And I think, And my memory fails me because, I mean, we're going back to, 30 something years or whatever. But I think this was the first. I think when we went to the bookstore and I was looking for a book and I was going to get a Star Trek book, I decided this is the one that drew me in. And it was probably because I was a big Riker guy, right? Huge Riker fan at the time. The book looked cool. If there's Riker, he's fighting some beast here. At the time, of course, I didn't have any idea who Peter David was or any of that. So, but that got me started on the journey, right? So, as you can see here, Peter David has written primarily for, well, initially primarily for TNG. He's got 3 books in the TOS series, and I don't think that I have read any of those, so those are going to the top of the list for sure. The TNG books, I think that we've read most of them. Maybe not before Dishonor, but again, Strike Zone number 5, number 10, A Rock in a Hard Place, Doomsday World number 12, number 18, Q & Law. All of those we've read and we've talked about here on the channel. Imzadi and Imzadi 2 we've talked about. I haven't read the Q stuff. I have not read the Q stuff. So we still have to read IQ, Q Squared, Before Dishonor. So many great books, right? I've read The Siege. That's his DS9 book, and he did another one there with Michael Jan Friedman and Robert Greenberger. And then, yes, of course. Brings me right back to the point I was making in the beginning. I also enjoyed the Starfleet Academy books when I was a kid, and he wrote the first 3. So again, it's just more, I think his style of writing, in addition to these stories, drew me into this world and drew me into being someone who just enjoys to read a lot, right? And then we get to talk about New Frontier. And I just recently got into New Frontier, like a few months ago, and we've not even finished it. I think we are 6 books into it, and it is outrageous. And someone told me on the channel that it is outrageous, and it is that way because it's like a comic book. It's like a book, but the characters and stuff, it's all kind of like written as if it's a comic book. So I'm really enjoying New Frontiers, and as we stand now, I'm going to be finishing up Double Helix book 4, Quarantine by John Vornholt. And lo and behold, what is the next book that I have to read? It's number 5, which is Double or Nothing, written, of course, by Peter David. So how fitting is that? The next book in line is basically like the next TNG book by Peter David that I would need to read too. So it's perfect timing. We'll get to see Mr. Mackenzie Calhoun back at it again. So definitely looking forward to getting back into that. Now again, let's keep scrolling down here because it goes on and on and on. Check this out. The New Frontier series is huge. So I have a lot to get into there too. So it's a good thing. It's a very good thing to know that I've already read a lot of great Peter David stuff, but now there is still so much more out there for me to get into, right? And that's how it is with all these Star Trek books, There's this whole other world out there to get into, so. Do you guys have a favorite Peter David book, right? Or are you guys more familiar or like with his comic stuff? For me, I would have to say, if I had to pick a favorite out of all the ones that I've read so far, I might give it to Imzadi. Imzadi is a fantastic book that dives into the history of Troy and Riker's relationship. The sequel is almost as good, but I really liked Imzadi. That was fantastic. And again, A Rock in a Hard Place, a fantastic adventure story, reminiscent of what you might read from Burroughs, right? Something like that. And I can kind of see some of that now too, and I really like that connection. So it's it's too bad that he's passed, but we can always now remember, right? We can remember all these great adventures that he brought us, and with these adventures and with us remembering them and talking about his stories, then that makes, his memory live on forever and forever and forever, right? So keep on reading your Peter David books and keep on tuning in to listen to me talk about more Star Trek books by Peter David. And, again, just someone that made a very significant contribution to the world of Star Trek, to the world of comics, and specifically for me, I'm going to say someone that instilled the love of reading in me in that young age, which is important, because if you don't kind of get something like that started at a young age and make it a habit and make it something that you do, which reminds me, I have to go tell my kids to read. Go read books. Please read books. Everyone, put down your things. Put down your devices and pick up a book. Pick up a book. Pick up a book. I got books. I got books all around me here. I'm surrounded by books. Anyway. What else to say? I guess I would say, in closing, thank you, Peter David, for all of the memories, all the wonderful books. I'm looking forward to getting into the wackiness of the New Frontier saga, some more, and really just diving into some more of his comic adventures as well, too. I'm looking forward to sitting down with some of my friends this Thursday and talking more about his contribution to the comics. What did they like that he did, So that's going to be interesting. And again, as we continue to talk about him and remember him, then his memory lives on forever. So, yeah, that's it. I think we're just gonna keep it a remembering Peter David Warp Tuesday today. So, guys, thanks for hanging out and listening. As always, live long and prosper, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good night.